welcome to Chandler in Brisbane. I'm Steve Rebillard for ABC Sport, and we're here for the Trim State Netball League final between the Queensland Academy of Sport and Downey Park. Well, Downey are the defending champions and finished top of the league. The Academy have fought their way through from 4th position to take their place in the final. Some interesting matchups here, plenty of height on both sides. We've got two sisters playing against each other. And, Sergeant, I guess we have to lean towards Downey Park, though, because of their experience.
Yes, Steve, this one is a classic contest between youth and experience. In fact, the Queensland Academy of Sport are making history by being in their first ever grand final. And as you said, they did it the hard way from 4th position. Despite their youth, though, they're a very talented lineup. They've already earned a lot of respect. But when you look at Downey Park, you look at a tradition of winning, 3 years on the trot, and some very experienced players. They form the core of the Queensland State Open side, so you have to go with them for their experience.
Let's look at the lineups, and Downey Park will be pretty familiar to National League viewers with the tall Michelle Tollinaire at goal shooter, Amanda van der Waal goal attack. Tracy Bruce is captain and mid-court controller with help from Tracy Liso and Connie Bibby. The circle defenders, in the absence of Kylie Garrett, are Carly Clark and Denise Felix, and coach is Paddy Farrell. Queensland Academy of Sport and Carla Stewart at 190 centimetres can nearly match Tollinaire. Her partner is Belinda Diva. Sally Healy is at wing attack. Anita Clark at centre. We'll see some shoulder-to-shoulder confrontations with her sister Carly, the opposing goal defence. Leanne Matthews is captain at wing defence. Back in the circle, Alana Scott and Peter Stevens, and former Downey Park coach Liz White looks after Q.A.S. The umpires for the match, Annette Smith and Janelle Derrington. Downey Park have the first centre pass. It's Tracy Liso possession. Downey Park in the black and red, as we saw them through the Mobile League this year. We've already talked about their great experience, but there's a lot of enthusiasm out there from this Q.A.S. side, and they hit the court really looking like they were quite relaxed and looking forward to this big match.
I thought they looked quite loose in the warm-up, very calm, very relaxed, and just keen to take on the challenge. Felix there pulling one down for Downey Park. Denise Felix, a former New Zealand international, lining up here in Queensland's #1 competition.
And don't be confused by the name on her back, which is Peterson. I imagine she's got the shirt from Janelle Peterson, but that is Denise Felix. Stewart looking for the first goal of the match.
And that against the centre pass, so a good start for the Queensland Academy of Sport.
And she epitomises their youth. She was 17 only a week ago. Got an average age of 18 in the Q.A.S. side against 23 for Downey Park. Stewart bags a second. And this year they're a win apiece over each other. Q.A.S. won 59-51 back in round 3, but in round 12 Downey Park thrashed them 53-28.
I think that was probably just after many of the academy players had returned from junior national events, the 17s, the 19s, so perhaps a little weary taking on that contest. It's interesting, Steve, when you look at the mix of teams across the season, Downey Park coming in 1, Southern Pioneers 2, Broadwater 3rd, and the Academy in 4th spot. It's probably the Southern Pioneers who are the shock omissions from this final. They had a good season, lost only 3 matches, twice to Downey Park, once to Broadwater, which is Vicky Wilson's club side. They lost their semi to Downey, but they were expected to go through against the Academy, but they played that match with 3 of their main 7 unavailable because they were in an indoor nationals championship. So what a way to play out for a place in the final.
So a 4-0 start to the Academy. And they've got the experience to settle Downey Park, but they won't want too many on the wrong side of the scoreboard before they get going. And once again, they've turned over possession. It's Clark watching her footwork around the circle. Belinda Diva looking on to wing attack Sally Healy. Healy now looking for Stewart.
Stewart holding position, but just slouching the body on the take, and Felix coming through over the top. Stewart, a tall girl, she'll do well to stretch and use the height a little more.
That was a held ball, so no goal. And pass to no one in particular. Liso. Penalty penalties against Carla Stewart for obstruction. Lisa. Bruce gets a little bump in the back.
Tracy Bruce, very popular in Queensland. I was looking through the bios of the players, and a couple of the teams were asked to identify their favourite player in the state, or the one they preferred, and Tracy came up most times. So very popular, very athletic player, and obviously well respected.
Ahead even of that netball deity, Vicky Wilson.
I know, I shuddered when I saw it. For those of you wondering where Vic is, her team Broadwater bowed out in the first semi-final to the Academy. They lost that match just by 4, 56-52. And the Queensland Academy showing just how tough they were going to be in the big ones in that match.
4.5 minutes gone, and it's 4-1 to Q.A.S. Vanderwall over the top for Tollenaire. Good contest with Peter Stevens.
Tollenaire known as the Tower of Height here. Don't need to explain that one.
194 reasons. Clark.
Again, the hold offered by Stewart. So the Academy looking for the high approach to Stewart. We'll see that reciprocated at the other end of the court as Downey Park feed Tollenaire. And that ball really just put astray through the mid-court. It's Tracy Bruce, their skipper, that cleans it up for them.
Got a loose pass to Vanderwall, another turnover.
And Downey Park lacking some cohesion in the start of this match. It's a very quiet start, and there's just not the connection down court. The timing's missing. And their young opponents making them pay. A few steady heads out there on young bodies.
Well, I think Q.A.S. had to make the bright start if they were going to be in this final, and they've done that. It would have been hard to see them come back from 5 or 10 down, but they might be able to hold on to a lead, and they've got one now.
Hands letting Stewart down on the take. That was quite a soft one. Not too much pressure on it.
Hold time, please.
And Denise Felix has to retrieve.
Straight up. On the wing.
Bruce now. It's still not quite happening in attack for Downey. They'll get the ball back here.
It's a strong drive from Vanderwall along the base, but she was well contested the whole length of the run. They would have done better to swing it outside to the other feeder and open the circle again. Vanderwall makes amends.
Only 2 goals in 6 minutes, though. They've got possession from the next centre pass. It's Liso for Vanderwall.
Vanderwall and Bruce having enjoyed some time at the Australian Institute of Sport as former scholarship holders. So a strong connection across that attacking transverse line for Downey. That's called using the post against Tollenaire to regain her balance, and that free pass taken by Stevens.
It's Vanderwall and Bruce, the veterans, and the team at 27. Doesn't seem that long ago, Anne, we were calling their names in AIS sides. We've been around too long, is that it? No, we don't say that.
I was thinking it was old, but then, you have to stop and rethink that call. They look babies to me.
Back come Downey. Lead is just 1 now.
Clark had a look at it, but she was too late on the challenge. Puts her sister to the deck. Slaps her on the bottom.
Talk about that one later.
They said in the newspaper before the match that there'll be no talking during the match. Plenty before, plenty after, but not too much discussion during. That's probably as far as it'll get. Clark with a strong drive picks up Stewart.
And Stewart, when Stewart is allowed to match up with Carly Clark, it's a bit of a mismatch in height. Felix is a better match for her height-wise. Healy and Liso.
Wing attack, Downey.
Real scrap. And it goes against Q.A.S. Felix. And Liso. Vanderwall to Bruce.
Terribly congested at the top of Downey Park's circle. Tollenaire unable to be found early on. They're really not having too much luck penetrating the goal third and getting quick access to the circle.
Short pass against them that time. They're coming up with all sorts of ways to turn the ball over and yet still find themselves only down by the 1. A low scoring first quarter.
Downey Park have won this event for the past 3 years, Steve. In '93, they defeated Sunny Queen West, which is the team Janet Bothwell Many of the viewers will recognise that name played for. And then in 94 and 95, it was Broadwater Cannon that came in runner-up to Downey Park. And this time, Queensland Academy of Sport would like to rewrite the records.
3 or 4 minutes since Q.A.S. have scored, and Belinda Diva puts in their 5th. They scored the first 4 and then got stuck on that score. 6 minutes left, first quarter. Vanderwall working with Bruce.
Colonial was in a good position for the offload, but Vanderwall, knowing they needed points on the board, elected to shoot.
Healy. Diva. Over the top for Stewart. The placement for her hasn't been too good in the second half of this first quarter.
No, they're going to have to resort to some movement rather than the static hold.
Pass or shot.
It's come undone a few times for them. Despite the speed of the approach to the circle, the movement in the circle is lacking, and now the defending champions have equalised.
Bruce having a good match with Leanne Matthews.
Contact goalkeeper, pass or shot.
One of the key contests
Contact goal defence.
this evening.
Pass or shot. Where you are.
Vanderwall for the lead.
Trying to find some space to take the shot between two defenders.
Whilst I'm sure that Paddy Farrell, the coach, wouldn't have been pleased with the start by Downey, she'll be pleased that they've settled and come back.
And that's a better approach to Stewart.
She needs to hold and then move, doesn't she? She can't just hold there because Felix is pretty springy, good aerial skills.
Felix is doing a good job staying off the body and moving and disguising where the free space is. And whilst the hold is maintained that long, it blocks up any room for the other shooter to move. So it'd be nice to see what happens when Diva is allowed to put a drive into the circle.
Pass or shot.
Vanderwall to give Downey the lead again.
Q.A.S.
Goals coming a little more freely as we get into the last 5 minutes of the first quarter. Diva back to Clark. Healy.
Contact and goal defender, Q.A.S.
Against Carly Clark.
Yes.
Diva's free.
That's a better placed ball to Stewart.
Obstruction from behind.
Obstruction from behind against Denise Felix.
Goalkeeper, you're in front. Beside, please, and away.
Janelle Darrington just setting the penalty. The player that's infringed must, of course, be beside and out of the way of the pass or shot.
Lisa saw Tollinaire open.
Obstruction, pass or shot.
And Stevens caught sniffing around for the intercept, and Tollinaire made her pay.
Anita Clark takes the centre pass. Q.A.S. must keep pace.
Attack, free pass, Q.A.S. goal third.
As we nearly get cleaned up on the sideline here.
Yes.
Lucky I drunk that cup of water. I've been wearing it.
I thought we might have seen your soccer skills come to play then. And that's over the top of Felix to Stewart, who's enjoyed the last few in close range.
Time.
8-all the score. And 3 minutes left in the first quarter.
And Leanne Matthews again causing grief for Tracy Bruce. She's really contesting well, matching Bruce for speed.
Stewart to get the lead back for Q.A.S.
Both out. Contact over the top, keep the shot.
She can smile. She wouldn't have been smiling if someone else had taken the rebound. Q.A.S. by the 1. Clark to Healy to Diva.
Lovely ball to the top of the circle to Diva.
Oh.
And Stewart juggling it. That was fine play from the young academy side.
Oh, great ball skills. Really, that one looked lost. A lot of traffic, arms everywhere, and the rebound from Felix. So that's a bad miss. Held ball, says Janelle Darrington.
Back over here, please. In here. Yes.
So it's not a shot.
Pass
only. And Diva feeds it out to Clark and gets it back. Stewart eventually gets what she should have taken 30 seconds before.
Advantage breaking, goal defence. Obstruction, goal defence. Back here.
So a minute 45 left in the first quarter, and it's been an interesting seesawing one. Bruce
Advantage obstruction centre.
trying to get her team A little terms before the first break. Tollenaire should get them within one, and does.
Q.A.S.
Healy, Clark, Diva was never going to take that over Felix, who's a bit higher in those contests. Liso, Bruce, Tollenaire.
Steps into the defender, which can cause you grief.
Or can cause a penalty.
I think that was because the defender was really closing distance and breaking space as Tollenaire stepped in. That's what she was trying to draw, but if the defender holds the ground well from the original 3-foot distance, it's often the attacker that will go on contact of the ball into the defender.
Contact, goal attack.
Under a minute left in the first quarter, and we're locked at 10-all. So a great final here, the State League. Clark. Healy. Diva lets it go all the way to Stewart, who fires now and really has missed a few opportunities.
Contact, wing attack, play on.
Should be hoping for a better percentage later in the match. Liso fires one in quickly to Tollenaire, knowing that time's running out in this first quarter.
And Tollenaire, just as did Stewart before her, missing a soft shot under the post, one that should have got on the scoreboard. Clark hungry for the intercept.
Tollenaire, Van der Waal.
Obstruction keeper, pass or shot.
Time is up.
Back please, next to the keeper.
Be the last shot of the quarter.
Obstruction, goal defence.
And they put their noses in front just as the whistle goes, and it was a little bit scrappy at times from the defending champions, but they're back in the position they usually enjoy, and at quarter time it's Downey Park 11, Q.A.S 10. Second quarter about to begin, and some stats there that won't necessarily please Liz White, I don't think, Anne.
No, well, the possession between the two sides is fairly equitable. 18 attempts for the Academy as opposed to 17 for Downey Park, but it's the accuracy that's really let the Academy down. 56 for Stewart really tells the story of a few opportunities that were missed for them, particularly when they had Downey Park under pressure early on.
Yeah, 9 from 16 for her. It was down a little bit.
Also, Diva for the Academy was just 1 from 2, so she needs to involve herself more in shooting to lift the game.
Beautiful opening goal from Tollenaire.
Overall, though, Steve, you know, we're looking at the highest stat for the first quarter as 66%, and that was against Van der Waal, and that's not that impressive for top-level netball. So I think both coaches will be looking to the shooters to lift the accuracy. It's probably opening nerves.
Contact against Diva, taking it quickly is Downey.
And you would think it's this time in the match when Downey Park may really apply the pressure. After a slow start, they recovered well to hit the lead just before the break, and now's the time to really put the pressure on their younger opponents.
When they beat them 53-28 in round 12, I believe it was the second quarter in which they blew them away. But Carla Stewart, if she's got anything to say about it, won't let it happen here. 12-12, minute and a half gone in the second quarter as Van der Waal prepares.
Bruce giving her the time too to work the move around the defender and drive the base, so a good understanding on timing then, but not the shot to finish.
And an easy rebound for Peter Stevens as Q.A.S. gradually work their way out of the goal third. Matthews to Diva, to Healy.
They double team on Stewart, make Diva put the shot up, and that's perhaps why that'll be 1 from 4 for Belinda Diva.
Where you are,
Contact trying to take the rebound from behind against Carla Stewart.
Oh, Clark had that one. She just sat court bound a little too long.
Possession to Downey. Good touch from Peter Stevens.
That, of course, is a very difficult decision to make, because if you do miss the intercept, you've left the midcourt wide open for the drive from the opposing team, and it really runs down fast on your keeper.
Scott to Diva. Clark.
Wouldn't be surprised if Stewart goes during the game for use of elbow. If you watch closely as she makes the lead to the ball, she often just lifts it out to clear a bit of room from the defender.
Obstruction, wing attack,
I think only someone has done that in the past.
Oh.
Pick that up, Ed.
Please, I'm an observer. I didn't instigate it.
Q.A.S. forward.
There was never a bruise applied.
Now, just moved Connie Bibby to centre, haven't they?
Yeah, Bibby into centre.
And
Liso's moved back to wing defence.
So that's a straight swap between Liso and Bibby.
Liso a very defensive centre, so well suited to either role.
At the top. Yes. Advantage offside, obstruction, centre. Contact goalkeeper, pass or shot.
Contact against Felix.
Good shot there. You see Clark giving away precious centimetres to Stewart, who just holds and pops out for the offload. And very comfortable under the post. She's open with 3 straight in the second quarter. Lovely shot there from the centre with the move. Just a 1-2 to the circle. Very tidy moves there from the academy. The drive from Diva.
Pass or shot.
Stewart. Just occasionally missing what would be a very punishing goal. I think a couple of times in the first quarter, they had the opportunity to really nail Downey.
Well, just when you think maturity is coming to string a few in a row and really get the momentum up for the team, it's very costly to let it off with the miss. And whilst you don't want to dwell on the errors, shooters are aware that they can really build momentum by finishing off the good work.
Still can't separate these sides. 13 apiece, and we've had 4.5 minutes in the second quarter.
Full credit to the academy defence. They're really making it hard work for Downey Park to progress to the circle. And that'll be brought back to an offside call. Free pass taken by Van der Waal. Looks to the feeder. Smart work from Van der Waal. Looks to the feeder and plugs it to Tollenaire under the post.
For the young defenders, maybe not too many more times. It's a move they'll probably latch on to.
It's a move well used once or twice and then left for a while.
Yeah, put it back in the bag. Over the top for Stewart.
Testing shot for her. Answers well.
It's asking a lot of the composure of a 17-year-old in a grand final to sink every goal.
It was good vision then of Downey Park's centre play. They chose to use the sideline all the way down to the circle. So both teams mixing up the way they play from the centre. Great shot because there's so much work done off the ball in those centre passes. It's not prescribed in 1, 2, 3. There's just so much work done to clear space for other players. Tollenaire with the fake, almost an automatic fake, but wasn't it? Really just to clear the defender off the shot. I don't think it was convincing.
And
earlier,
a great turn in the air from Tracy Bruce. She's quite an athlete. Has it now. Wing attack and captain. And leaves it behind her for Liso.
Doesn't mind putting out a touch of flamboyance for the crowd either.
Air ball. Clark. Diva. Clark again.
Liso keeping Healy well out of play then. It's a tight marker.
Stewart leads out. Diva on the baseline. Sweet shot, and they're back to within 1. Can equalise here if they look after possession. Healy. Stewart stopped on a run. Diva. Diva, is she getting more confident under goals? Nearly. Van der Waal. Stevens takes the rebound. Matthews. Scott.
Well, Liso thought about it and she's left Healy well open.
Stewart for an equaliser. And we're halfway through the second quarter. And we're still locked together. It was Downey Park by 1 at quarter time. 16 all now. Van der Waal.
And as was the pattern at the start of the game, the academy with a bright start to the second quarter. Just when we thought Downey might apply the pressure, and a great double play there between Matthews and Clark.
Advantage, contact.
Liso went for the intercept, gave the Academy some numbers for a moment or two.
Contacting goalkeeper. Pass or
Stewart looking for a better position. I don't know that she's made a heck of a lot of ground, but she's confident on the second shot. 6 shots for Stewart, just the 1 miss in the second quarter. So perhaps settling into the task.
Anita Clark.
Remind viewers, this is the first final appearance for the young Academy team.
A well-placed ball for Stewart. And she'll get to retake it. And she should take a 2-goal lead for the Academy, and does. Bibi. Van der Waal. Oh, that was unlucky. As Peter Stevens saw that coming. There's a fair bit on it. Couldn't take a clean intercept. Tollenaire. Ball doesn't have to travel far when it leaves Michelle's hand. Valuable touch from Liso. Back to Clark.
Bruce really having to work the ground to get some space around Matthews. He's doing a fine job on the Downey Park skipper. Good stretch there from Scott. Almost inside out.
Van der Waal pegs back the 2-goal margin that the Academy enjoyed a moment ago.
It's interesting, Steve. Young Kate Miller for Downey Park is missing from their lineup. She's attending a national 17 and under talent ID camp. Tough decision for a young player that I think was given the choice.
She was also missing when they were well beaten by Downey Park.
Oh, sorry, from the Academy I meant. Yeah, a tough decision to make, but I think Liz White gave her the option.
Yeah, and it was hard for her, and she said she was going to ring at half-time and at full-time to find out the score.
Good girl, honey.
Well, they're going to be close at half-time. She'll certainly be sweating it out. Bruce. Oh, it's a tough one for Van der Waal. But unfortunately for Peter Stevens, she carried it out over the baseline.
Body just side centre.
Well, that was too easy for Downey Park.
Contact against Alana Scott. Van der Waal for the lead once more for Downey.
Academy defenders must keep coming. They sat back on that throw-in and were observers. They've applied so much pressure all the way down the court so far in the match, and if they keep it up, they're going to run it a goal-for-goal finish. They can't afford to sit back on any ball.
Diva. I've been waiting for her to get a string of goals so I can say Diva on song, and you're hoping she won't, so I won't, is it?
I think I've spoken to her. Well, she won't accommodate you yet. 1 goal for 3 misses in this quarter, 1 for 2 in the first, so she really needs to inject some more in the shooting department.
The warning bells perhaps for Q.A.S. as Downey take a 2-goal lead, 4 minutes out from half-time.
And the front cut comes from Van der Waal, but they elect to go over the top to the tower. Tollenaire's put up 9 in the second quarter, just the 1 miss, so she's really driving it home for Downey Park.
Q.A.S. need a couple of settlers here as they trail by 3.
And now it's Downey Park that apply the defensive pressure. Both Bruce and Van der Waal deep down to the transverse line assisting. Good pressure from Felix under the post, and a handling error comes up from Stewart.
Van der Waal paying attention to her footwork. Wasn't quite sure whether she was about to step out, and Tollenaire rewards her. And it's a good run that Downey have got going now as Bibi takes another centre pass. Van der Waal looks up for a shooting partner.
Stevens can't afford to give Tollenaire front position as a 3-second call goes against Tollenaire, who thought she'd get the penalty, was trying to hold off Stevens. I was about to say that Stevens was sitting behind Tollenaire, which is a useless position, particularly on someone Tollenaire's height. Really need to be working around her.
There's a contact against Leanne Matthews, so another turnover. And a chance for a 5-goal lead.
You just see Tollenaire and Stevens jostling for position on that shot then. Stevens elected to put some pressure on the shot, and Tollenaire thought, I'll just free some space up behind her.
And Downey Park now with the biggest lead of the match.
Well, Healy getting a great deal of attention from both Lisa and Connie Bibby. Managed to find a way through that. Quick ball then on to Stewart. That was good hands, Healy to Stewart, and Stewart rewards her.
And it was a good lead away from Diva as well to distract the defenders.
Interesting, just having a quick look at the stats. Tollenaire and Stewart almost comparable. Both have put up, Stewart's put up 9 with 2 misses. Tollenaire 11, so both shooters really driving it.
Van der Waal drains one from long range, and we've got a minute and a half left until half-time. It's 25-20. Bruce soars, Matthews takes it. Diva, Healy. Good defence from behind by Felix.
Sounding like an AFL call, and it's on their minds as well, isn't it?
Diva.
Obstruction, goal defence. Advantage goal.
Well, that looked oh so easy from Diva. Just needs to string a few together. Tracy Bruce puts the roll on to try and blind Matthews to the move. Van der Waal on the drive, puts the layup up.
It's a contact against Tollenaire. There's an arm around the shoulder of Peter Stevens. So.
A little sly smile from Van der Waal. It probably wishes she stopped to take the shot in the first place.
Diva, and a good hold from Stewart. Or did she back a little into Felix then?
She really gave away a lot of space on the move. She had position closer originally and lost a good couple of metres in taking the ball. Oh, Tollenaire opens up at the back. Too much attention on the front mover.
And she restores a 5-goal lead. With about 45 seconds left in the second quarter. They'd like another one, possibly 2 here if they're quick enough. Van der Waal doesn't mind the long-range shot.
Loves it. Draws string.
Hold time.
Hold time called because the timer is up and she's aware that Downey Park are reluctant to take the centre.
Touched out by Peter Stevens, and I think that'll ensure it's the end of the half. It is, and it's a good one for Downey Park in the end. They were held to just a 1-goal lead at quarter time, but they've kicked it out to 6. And at half time in the final, they lead at 27-21. So a 6-goal lead for Downey Park as they prepare to start the third quarter. And Anita Clark does that for Q.A.S. And the shooting stats had improved quite a bit in that second quarter. Both the shooters with more work to do and did it a little better.
In particular, Michelle Tollenaire for Downey Park. And we forewarned that they might put the foot down in that second quarter. And Tollenaire certainly did for Downey Park. She was very impressive with the 12 from 13. Van der Waal still quiet in goals with 4 from 9, but she really is a feeding tool to Tollenaire. And Queensland Academy through Stewart, 9 from 12, so she really lifted the stats from the first quarter to put up 75%. And Diva, quiet again, stayed in the 40s with 2 from 5, but that's an improvement from the 1 from 2 she put up in the first quarter. So particularly the shooters really lifting the game in that second period.
Now Simone Abbott is on as goal attack for the Academy of Sport.
Q.A.S.
Matthews has gone back to goal defence. Has she?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
It is a bit of a reshuffle. I can see why you're having a double look.
Yep.
Scott's gone back to goalkeeper and Matthews has moved across from wing defence to goal defence. Healy has moved from wing attack to wing defence. Diva from goal attack to wing attack. And a new goal attack on in Simone Abbott. So wholesale reshuffling. I'm sure they didn't throw the bibs in the air, but you'd be forgiven for thinking they may have. Ms. White wouldn't have done that, but she really is looking for something extra.
Well, they haven't given it to her in the first 2 minutes with a 3-0 start to the quarter, and the lead is now 9, and that's a dangerous lead if you're a QAS supporter. don't have to be worried about that.
So for all those changes we just went through, in effect we have Peter Stevens leaving the court for the academy and Simone Abbott taking the court and most of the others moving.
Keep going.
By contrast, Downey Park, who enjoy the lead, have not
Contact
budged
goal attack.
and
Penalty.
intend to stay firm and stick with it. Torrid defence from Liso and Clark's been a feature of their game so far. That challenge from Clark drawing a contact call.
Stewart now. And they need a string of them. There's the first of the quarter for them. Whatever Tolonaire's problem was, it's pretty much behind her. Still giving the ankle a bit of a stretch in the back play. We've got 3 minutes gone in the third quarter. And Q.A.S. in a bit of bother. Need this.
Felix set back off the shot, ready to jump, and really never left the ground. It just dribbled in for Stewart, but it still counts for the 1 point.
Tolanaire.
Tests out whatever was wrong. Hard to tell, but the shots are still on target. She opens with 3 straight, so she continues on with the 92% she managed in the second quarter.
16-11, Downey won the second quarter. Downey averaging 54 goals per game through the season and conceding an average of 37. So at half-time, they were right on target for their average total.
Obstruction. Pass the shot where you are.
By contrast, the Academy of Sport have been scoring just under 50 goals per game
Q.A.S.
and conceding 45. So they've had a lot closer games. They won 12, lost 5 and drew 1 in the Academy. And Downey Park only lost 1 match, and that was to Q.A.S. So the defending Premier's form team coming into the semi-finals as Felix takes an intercept. Bibby to Bruce.
Strong drive, but nobody in the circle really on offer. Tolanaire put a move on well away from the ball, and it wasn't a good choice.
Some would say that was a replay. Especially umpires from other countries.
Have to remind ourselves, Steve, this is only the second year for the Academy in the league. They only came together in 1994. Their first year was in the B grade competition. They then were promoted, played in the league last year. This is only their second year. As I said earlier, their first final. So big steps for them.
5th last year. They're going to finish no worse than 2nd here. Last team into the semis. And as we've mentioned, done very well to get this far. Stewart.
That one well off target from Stewart. Should be disappointed in the shot, opening with 3 straight in the quarter. But that's a sign of a young player. Puts together 1 or 2 good things and then loosens off on the next. And I thought the move to the ball was lacking, and I think the shot really followed on from that.
Contact goalkeeper, both out.
And the wall at the 3rd attempt puts it through for a 10-goal lead.
Q.A.S.
Right here, it's Downey Park doing it with a
15-goal
lead. Van der Waal.
Contact goalkeeper. Advantage goal.
And a minute and a quarter left in the third quarter. Anita Clark. And Abbott. Clark over the top. And that's off the hands of Carla Stewart. Good challenge from Felix, and she wins possession for Downey. Lisa. Bibby. Bruce. And the wall threads it to Tolanaire, who's dispossessed by Alana Scott.
Contact goal defence, pass or shot.
Contact goes against Matthews. And Van der Waal punishes.
That was always going to be pretty. Van der Waal had left Matthews in the centre third and had the front running to the circle and had good vision across to Tolanaire.
Crowd was the call. Thought it might have gone the other way. She's pretty to watch.
If you watch it from the centre, you'll see just here, left of screen, that Van der Waal lost Matthews, had good sight of Tollenaire, and the double play between the shooters.
Lisa. And Annette Smith blows the end of the third quarter, a third quarter in which Downey Park have really taken a good hold of this match. They will expect to go on and win it from here with a 47-29 scoreline over Q.A.S. Well, it's an awfully big hill to climb for the Queensland Academy of Sport as they enter the last 15 minutes of the State League final. And Connie Bibby gets them going.
And for Downey Park, you can see what a punishing quarter that third was. They came out with 28 attempts compared to the Academy's 13 and were punishing again through Tollenaire with 9 from 12. And Van der Waal really lifting her shooting effort with 11 from 16, so the volume there for her and an improvement in accuracy. Stewart really tried her best with the Academy. She kept right up there. She's done all the shooting all night, 8 from 12. And with Simone Abbott entering the game at goal attack for the Academy, still really no joy there in the goal attack position, 0%, just one attempt and no goal from it. So they really have been struggling in that goal attack spot throughout the night, and Downey Park taking the court, looking like the 1996 champions.
First 2 goals of the last quarter, though, going to Q.A.S. side, and Downey Park have put on Melanie Edgar, who has the ball now, replacing Michelle Tollenaire. Well, for 2 reasons, I would guess. Tollenaire was quick to take off the left shoe at 3/4 time. She did suffer a bit of an injury in that third quarter, and as well, I'm sure Melanie Edgar, with the match pretty much in her keeping, I'd like to give her a run.
Well, it's nice to introduce more depth to the game. I'm sure they've shared the workload throughout the season, and I think Edgar featured in the match when these 2 teams last met, and of course that was won by Downey Park, 53-28. So she's probably very deserving of the entry on court, and she'll add another area of movement to the Downey Park attack.
Healy to Diva. Healy on the drive.
Well, Healy on the drive, but not with good vision to the third. You could see then she was blocked off visually, looking only to the left-hand side of the court and really not seeing the whole picture.
Bruce. Van der Waal.
Well, yeah, both in possession. Van der Waal thought Force might rule the day then and she'd play on with it. I think hoping for an attacking advantage.
And Van der Waal broke. Clark.
And it wasn't a replay, it was about to be footwork that one on Clark. A double whammy. Well, Bruce had good position then, strong up into the air. Edgar on strike. Tidy shot from her.
She works at Queensland Netball Association. She's feeding us some of the information about the teams this week.
Worth the weight in gold.
Yep.
And she's ended the game with 3 straight, so just as useful on court as she is off court. And as we said, she gives another dimension to the Downey Park attack, so they really have some versatility in the side as well as the experience.
This side.
Remind viewers that that's not Janelle Peterson. She's much smaller.
True to this side.
Plays through the middle of the court much faster.
And played for Australia, not New Zealand.
Yes.
That's interesting.
It was actually Denise Felix on camera in possession, just wearing Janelle Peterson's bodysuit.
Edgar. Van der Waal possession for Downey.
Thought about plugging it on court to Edgar, but Edgar was giving close attention. Good touch there from Matthews, and she follows on to try and keep it in play, and he takes out a camera as well. The camera never stopped a keen netballer from taking an intercept.
I don't think Barney ever played that
I was
ball.
going to say many cameramen found that out over the years. Friendly slap on the shoulder from Van der Waal to Matthews.
See what happened here?
You see Van der Waal holding position and Matthews in far too late.
Matthews.
Swings play so that they can open the circle, working the width of the court.
Contact goal defence.
I noticed at the start of the game it was very congested outside both circles, and particularly at the top, and as the game's developed and the defence has loosened, they've started to use the width and the breadth of the court. And some prettier netball as a result.
Abbott
looks down, decides to go through Stewart at the back, but the ball didn't match the move.
Near the post.
Very strong player. As Denise Felix really holds on to her space with some authority.
I think I've been on the receiving end of that actually.
Edgar down and up quickly.
Steps across the defender to give herself some clear room to the post.
Scott takes it. Healy.
Touch there from Bruce, so good pressure from Downey Park all the way down the court.
Nearly the intercept from Carly Clark.
Corner.
Carly 21, her sister Anita, opposing centre 19. An interesting night in the Clark household. Someone was always going to be a winner and someone a loser.
Great take there from Alana Scott. And whilst they might be on the wrong end of the result, they haven't given in. Queensland Academy of Sport doing themselves proud given how far they've come in just 2 seasons. Go base was the call from Scott. Matthews ignored it and took the top.
Edgar, blind disposal to Bruce.
Once again, sorry Steve to cut across, you could hear the call from Scott then calling base, and Matthews not picking it up.
Q.A.S.
Attacked against Van der Waal. Just to query the call slightly from Derrington.
We're timing out. Both Healy and Abbott caught in too soon in offering their leads.
Advantage obstruction, advantage contact wing.
Stewart.
Downey.
Connie Bibby. That was a pretty shrewd move, do you think, Paddy Farrell made, moving Bibby to centre?
It wasn't immediate in its effect, and I was thinking that through the second quarter. It wasn't immediate in what it offered, but it was a steadiness that developed across the quarter and really did contribute greatly to their game. Swinging Bibby there and moving Lisa back, because Lisa's been quite tired back at wing defence, and I think she's blocked a lot of ball. It just took its time coming, I guess, as it did at the opening of the game for them. And rock solid elsewhere, so you really wouldn't fiddle with the line anywhere else. And perhaps, you know, at the start of the game we thought it always would come from Downey Park, just a matter of when.
Clark and Felix have been very solid at the back for Downey.
Advantage offside.
And slightly in different first quarter, but they haven't done much wrong since.
Attack, penalty.
Stewart.
Going for a fourth of the quarter, drops for her, so she's leading scorer on court in this final quarter. Edgar with 3.
5-4 they lead in this last quarter. The damage done in the third. Liso hauls it in. Van der Waal gets some numbers down court. Bruce.
And with developing players, it very much is putting pieces together of a puzzle, and if you can look at how they performed in a particular quarter, if they can go away from this match and say, but hang on, you recovered and you produced the goods and won that final quarter, that's a big thing to take away from the game. Pressure from Matthews over Van der Waal.
It's always hard, though, to know how much value to place on the last quarter where the match is as good as over at the 3-quarter time.
That's true, but sometimes it has the ability to blow wide apart.
Clark. Diva. Matthews to Anita Clark.
Advantage offside wing.
Healy feeds Stewart. It's come undone once more. Matthews, sorry, Liso, straight to Edgar.
Advantage offside centre.
Edgar gets the return ball.
After a strong drive for the post, Edgar takes the time to settle for the shot.
Well, this win taking on pretty similar dimensions to their round 12 victory, which was a 53-28 scoreline. We're at 54-34. They've got a 20-goal lead. They won by 25 last time they met. Clark to Abbott.
Contact goal shooter, penalty.
Felix was working really well then to get front position on Stewart, and in the process caused a contact call against Carla Stewart. It's been a feature of Felix's game to really work the space around and outside and off the body. Good pressure from Scott. Well, it's a shame that she reduced the distance because she held her ground well. This wasn't quite long enough.
Contacting goal.
Van der Waal.
Sorry, goal defender, shot and pass.
Draws the contact out of Leanne Matthews. Fakes once more. Goal number 55.
Bruce finding that ball just in the last centimetre of the stretch.
Van der Waal plays on quickly. And Edgar rewards it.
Vantage breaking, goal defender.
At least they lost track of it there. They've probably done enough to take the intercept if she could see where the ball was.
Still laughing about it in back play, which you can afford to do when you lead by 20 and looking down the barrel of a trophy.
Fearless cameraman takes another knock. Clark looking for Healy, but well backed up by Diva.
Good challenge again from Lisa. This time she comes away with the ball. And Downey Park flaunting their superiority in the closing moments of the match.
Scott the contact on Melanie Edgar.
Not been an undefeated season for them, just the one loss, and that was to the Queensland Academy. But we'll say some good netball for the one that counted. Stewart has been a feature of the game, the long high aerial approach.
Van der Waal.
Scott putting too much body in too early on the move.
So under 3 minutes left. And they can put the champagne on ice now. And it's going to be a fourth consecutive title to Downey. Stewart to Clark. Interesting to see how many of these Downey players pop up in the National League team in 1997.
Contact wing defence, penalty.
Certainly lay claim to a few positions following their brilliant season in 1996.
Vantage, moving off wing defence.
Diva, Abbott.
Tight stretches at that rebound then.
Goal attack, holding.
Well, it's been a long season for many of these girls, especially for the Downey players who played in the Mobile League this year. Of course, many of these Queensland Academy players, Anne, would have had junior representative commitments as well. They play a lot of netball. I guess ankles and knees will be grateful for a little bit of time off after the Nationals.
Well, I think as much as our competitions have expanded and our technology and coaching principles progressed, we're very much aware of the importance of a recovery component to coaching. And some players actually have in contracts that in December, January be active rest periods so they can recover and refresh the minds as well. That one turns Scott inside out.
70 seconds left. Edgar survives two challenges. Break them both out.
Well, you can be proud of her one and only quarter in this final. 9 from 10. So she hasn't disappointed and quickly adjusted to the game. Stewart has maintained her effort as the on-strike shooter for the Academy with 6 from 7.
Stewart.
goal defence, pass or shot.
Perhaps legs a little tired, both sides, but there's not too much movement around the Q.A.S. circle just in the last few minutes. The match well and truly decided.
Contact, goal attack, penalty Downey.
Against Abbott. A little bit scrappy in the last few seconds, but in a moment they'll be all smiles as the bench empties from Downey. There's another title coming their way. Tracy Bruce.
A lovely stretch from Scott, but she couldn't cross the transverse line as goalkeeper.
Timekeeper's up, and the season is all but over. Abbott has it, but it's Downey Park that has the title. They've played brilliantly for 3 quarters. They were held to a 1-goal lead at quarter time. They led at 11-10 and then put the foot down. In the second and third quarters, they scored 36-19. They were virtually going 2 for 1. And the final score in favour of Downey Park, 58-37.
With me is Tracy Bruce, captain of the Downey Park team and the captain of the 1996 Trim State League competition. Congratulations, it's your 4th competition win. Is it any sweeter than the others?
Yeah, it's much sweeter. Everyone gets sweeter, I think. As you get older, they get much sweeter.
I have to put it to you, though, it was a tough start, a bit slow from your side, and the Academy girls really did take it out to you in that first quarter.
Yeah, I felt really that we were pretty flat in our warm-up. It was pretty quiet and stuff, and that's how we started.
You did find your timing in that second quarter, and Tollinaire really ran it home with some fine shooting. I mean, there's good play all the way down the court and some tenacious defence, but she strung some goals together for you.
Yeah, thank God for Michelle at the back. But once we found our feet, I think, you know, we had the speed and everything, and we had the experience on the younger girls. So.
Yeah, you did have it covered, but you have to say there's a lot of talent coming through the ranks in Queensland.
Definitely. I think the Q.A.S. and Liz White should be really congratulated on the young talent coming through, and it's really positive for Queensland netball.
Well, speaking of congratulations, the night is yours, and we should let you go celebrate. Once again, congratulations on yet another title.
Thank you very much.
Well, a 21-goal margin reflecting what a dominant season Downey